Hi, I'm Natalie, and this is a So Hungry Hippie Anna Maria box subscription sewing tutorial. This is box 8, and we're going to be making the spring roll pouch by Love You Sew Patterns. Christy is in Canada. She's an amazing woman and designer. And so in your box, you will receive this printed pattern. You will also get all the materials I'm using. I did manage to get about 10 bolts of this fabric that I'm using in this colorway and in a different colorway. So you'll get this print. It might be the colorway I'm using, or it might be the other colorway. Either way, it's going to be amazing. You'll get everything you need, including the foam, interfacing, the hardware, zippers, whatever we need in this pouch. All right, let me take you overhead. And just so you know, I like to show cutting out the pattern pieces because a lot of folks struggle with this. So if you don't need this part, you can jump to the next chapter. I am going to place this here. This is the main body. And I'm just cutting one layer of fabric at the moment. I'm going to cut it so I'm not trying to wield around all these different layers. Okay, there is pattern 1. Now, out of this fabric, I'm going to fold this. Okay, the next few pieces, we need 2 base, we need 2 front back, we need 2 wings, and we need 1 handle, but I'll just cut 2, who cares? So pretty. I'm going to save every little scrap. It's pretty much non-directional fabric. So the wings, I'm just gonna move around to make it all fit. But first, I can see my selvage here. I want to cut that away. I'll bring this down here. All right, so here's my leftover pile from that half yard. Not very much, but enough to make something scrappy and delicious. All right, now I've got this lining fabric. Is this one. It goes really beautifully with the Anna Maria. Okay, let's see here. What do we need? Let's do our gusset. It looks like we need 4 pieces of the gusset, 4 divider pockets. The slip pocket is optional, and the elastic pocket is optional. I don't think I want to do the optional pockets. Yeah, a lot of these pieces say option. So for now, I'm gonna set them to the side because I'm not sure I want all those pockets in my bag. Every time I make a bag with a ton of pockets, I lose things in the pockets because I forget I put them in the pockets. So we'll just see what happens. Let's just flow. Let's just go with the flow. Here's 2. All right, there's 4. Just gonna pin them together for the moment. Do them my notches in a bit. Now in this one, I need 4 lining pockets. Let's just fold this over and cut 4 all at one time. Okay, I've got 4 pieces. Divider pocket zipper tabs. We can always consult the pattern. I love how she has all these photos here and decide how many we need. Let's see here. Flat zipper pocket optional. Zipper tabs. Yeah, we need 2 of these. Looks like. Maybe that's another divider. I don't know yet. So I'm just going to set it to the side. Now we need to cut out our interfacing. Like I said, I'm going to use foam. I may need to use SF101 on some of these lining pieces. But for now, let's at least cut our foam out. And there it is. This is what I'm using. I love the structure this foam gives. So let's see here. Let's do template number 1. This is number 1. I'm going to rough cut it, which means cut a little bit outside of the lines because then I'm going to baste it to my outer fabric. So I'll just leave that one that side, and then I'll cut here, cut here. Can trim all this down later. All right. We need a woven interfacing for the handle. Woven is basically SF101 or something similar. So this is going to be for the handle. Let's see, this one. The wings, more woven. There's 2. I think I'm going to need a whole bunch of these. I'm going to fold this in half and in half again. And rough cut this out. I think I'll have enough there, but I'll put that nearby just in case. There's 2 pieces so far of this. I'm going to Franken piece with my scraps for the other 2, hopefully. Get there in a minute. All right. Before I keep cutting out interfacing, I think I'm going to start fusing this so I know exactly where I'm at. I'm going to turn on my iron full blast, rocket ship hot. All right, let's see here. press my fabric first. Sometimes I like to use a little starchy spray, Best Press, or whatever you have. I think this pink will probably be hidden in the seam, and if not, it's a design choice. Sometimes when you're mass cutting 4 layers at a time, that happens. All right, before I forget what these are, I'm gonna put this back on. Let's do some more. Okay, I'm gonna iron this piece. Just so it's really smooth and easy to work with. I do have the foam under it, but it's not a fusible foam. I don't recommend fusible foam ever. It tends to pucker and wrinkle, and it's very difficult to get out. Okay, so step 2, when we turn that page after that nice photo layout of all the pieces, step 2 is fusing that interfacing, which you just saw me do. Now, as I typically do, I'm going to check off the steps as I do them, because I don't like searching for where I'm at in the pattern. And whenever I make a bag twice, on the second go round, I use a different color pen, just so I don't get confused. If that helps one person, then my job here is done. Okay, step 3, let's create the handle. So we are going to take that handle piece, here it is, this little rectangle here, and we're going to fold it in half lengthwise and then open and fold again, you know, just like double fold binding. I forgot to fuse my interfacing to this one. Easy to do. So let's go overhead and I'll fuse it and then we'll get this handle going. You may have noticed that sometimes I start on the back, sometimes I start on the front. It doesn't really matter. Whatever works for you is absolutely fine. Both ways work for me. If it's a complicated piece, I'll start fusing on the back. If it's just a rectangle, then I can do it from the front and be done with it. Okay, I'm gonna flip this over and do this. Trim her up, get rid of the excess interfacing here. Isn't this mat fabulous? Kathy Robinson got this for me as a little present. Bless her. Okay, I'm gonna fold this in half and press. I love a handle made like this. It's always nice and strong. And it sews up beautifully. So we're bringing our raw edges into that centering crease. And you can press it again. And then I'm going to fold one more time. All right, let's sew this up on the long edges. Oh, I need to change my foot to my regular foot. I don't need to sew with my Teflon foot, but I'll do that after. There's one side. There's the other side. I'm going to trim up my short edges, my short ends a bit so they're nice and clean. And then she says to fold each short edge under by 1/2 inch and glue in place. Now, my glue is not very strong, so I'm just going to tack it down. And by tack it down, that's a sewing term for turning that stitch length way down to almost nothing and then sewing. You see that? That's tacking it down, only I didn't do a very good job there. Now it's tacked under, and it's hardly visible from the front because it's just in one spot, basically. So it's held under rather than glue. I will trim those threads just so they don't bug me. And then we'll deal with the handle when it's time. So I'm going to set that aside. Step 4, place handle onto the back side of the main body. So this is our main body piece. The back is towards the bottom. Now the question is, I think I should baste this in place first so that the foam doesn't move around on me as I'm using this. So I'm gonna baste the foam in place and then come back and do the handle portion. I love using a little bit of 505. You don't have to. You can use magnets. You can use double-sided sticky tape. All kinds of ways. You don't have to use anything. If you're experienced and you can just hold it in place, all good. Since I have my magnets right here, I'll throw on a couple. All right, let's take this to the machine. I'm going to turn my stitch length way up to 4.5. Oh, you know what? I'm going to switch my foot first. Make sure my thread is threaded right, and now we can get to basting. Okay. Now, anytime I baste foam, I like to give it a good press and then trim away the excess foam. I'm going to remove my magnets. Give it a quick press. And then I'll trim it. Now use your ruler here to trim. I've been doing this for so long that I can trim it this way. But believe me, it's great to use rulers to help you trim until you have that layer of experience to do it this way. And if you're accident prone, never do it this way. Just say. My fingers are never in the line of fire, if you notice. All right, here we are. Oh, isn't that so pretty? I just love it. I love it. Now, make sure it's oriented correctly. Yep, front, back. I'll do my notches now. Tiny little notches. All right, step 4, we are going to place our handle on here. 1 5/8 inch. Let's see. Back side of the main body per placement markings. Did I even, no, I didn't even transfer that. Right here and here. Oh, shoot. Why isn't this fitting? There we go. There. And right there. Now I've got 2 little markings. That's my Japanese screw punch that I'm using. And I will not mess it up doing that. Perfect. The light is not strong enough, so I'm gonna get these. Just do 1 HD. There we go. All right. Now you can use rivets or you can sew this down. But you know, I'm a fan of quick. So guess what I'm gonna do? Rivets, baby. Did you get your rivet press from Cam Snaps yet using my affiliate link? Go ahead. You deserve it. Nobody is going to hesitate getting themselves a power tool, so you shouldn't either. Okay, clearly I need some help with my strength today. Sometimes this happens to me when I lift weights in the morning. Don't judge. It's like I use all my energy lifting weights, and then I have no grip strength left. There, this baby, it's strong. So I'm just doing this. You've seen me do this a million times. All right, there we go. Yes. I put on the back and then I'll use my press in just a second to secure it. cute little handle, right? There we are. Okay, step 4 is complete. All right, now I am not gonna put the zipper back pocket in this pouch. I am gonna do the zipper dividing pocket. That one is not optional, and I like how it divides the pouch. So I'm gonna grab my zipper. I just love this so far. Okay, let's get into steps 5 and 6. We're gonna prep our zippers. I'm only using 2 zippers. The main is 22 inches long and the short is 8 inches long. So I'm gonna take you overhead. We wanna put 2 pulls on the main. You don't have to, but it is the design, so I'm going to do that. Oh, I need to get that guy sitting in there right. This is our So Hungry Hippie zipper jig. If you don't have one, it's worth the investment. So there's one going that way. Now this side I need to put one on. Okay. So now they can meet in the middle. That's our main. We're gonna set that one to the side for the moment. Here's my 8-inch zipper. That pull on. This is for inside the bag. Now, remember when we cut these zipper tabs and I said I have a feeling we're supposed to cut it here? I do believe so, yes. So we've got 2. Now, she sews hers on with a slightly different method, but the end result is the same. So I'm gonna do mine the way I normally do. Fold those short ends in to meet in the middle and then sandwich, slip the zipper inside. Let's sew this down. That's what I mean. Like, you know, we can do it any number of ways and it's still okay. That's probably why I like sewing so much. You can experiment and do it all kinds of ways. Now I'm gonna put another tab on this end. So let's do this again. Short ends to meet in the center. Fold it so it's like a Pac-Man. Oh my gosh, okay, really? This would be better if I just press it. Why am I trying to cut corners? Press again. Now we slip that zipper in to touch the fold. And you know what? I didn't cut that very cleanly, so I'm just gonna clean it up. Slip it in. And we're gonna sew right across the edge, catching both edges at the same time. If you're using So Hungry Hippie zippers, you can just sew right across these teeth because they're nylon. All right, that was 5 and 6. Easy, right? So now we're gonna make our divider pocket. This is step 7. Let me move this out of the way and grab my divider pocket pieces. We have 4 of them. They're already interfaced. So step 7, with the right side of the interior facing up, center the divider zipper, right side facing up along that top edge. So here's one piece of fabric, and we're going to center it like this. Place the exterior on top, and by exterior we're still using the lining fabric. She has a little blurb about that. So place the exterior on top, right sides together, sandwiching that zipper, right? I didn't skip a sentence, did I? Place the exterior on top, right sides together. Yep. Using a zipper foot, sew along the top edge. Okay, so if you don't feel confident with this, you know what I'm gonna say. What do we use when we need help? Double-sided sticky tape. And you can also do this. It's not going to gum up your needle. It's fine. Again, this is just my own tip. This is not in the pattern. You don't have to do this. And remember, if you're having trouble with that tape fusing, just hit it quick with an iron and you're golden. Don't leave the iron on it long. Just a little nudge. Kiss it, right? There's that piece. I'm centering this. Now that won't go anywhere. Now I'm going to pull the tape off the zipper. I mean the paper off the tape on the zipper. And right sides together. Now this is a big chunky pull. So I'm going to pull it back just so I can get started correctly here. All right, we're going to sew right across this top edge. If you do have a zipper foot, go ahead and use it. I'm coming up to that pull. Might have to lift my foot. The needle is still down, and I just move it out of the way. Press it up. Okay, so she wants us to top stitch this, only the seam allowance. So the lining is pulled away and we're only going to top stitch right here. I'm turning my top stitch length up to about a 3.5. It's just personal preference. You don't have to change it at all if you don't want to. So there I caught the seam allowance in there on that top stitching. Okay, now can I fold this down? Step 8, open the divider pocket and press the seam allowance towards the exterior, top stitch only the exterior. That's what we just did. And then we're going to repeat steps 7 and 8 with the second side of the zipper. Okay, fine. Easy peasy. So let's grab, where are my other 2 pocket pieces? Oh, there she is. I liked how slick that worked, so I'm going to do the same thing again. All right, we are going to sew right across here. again, let's top stitch by finger pressing this up. The lining is still down. We're only top stitching the top layer and that seam allowance. Okay, now I'll flip that up. And I'm just gonna press that with my fingers so that the fabric is away from the zipper teeth. We don't want that lining fabric in the way of our zipper. Okay, I'm just gonna tidy up my work area for the moment. Okay, I can cross off 5, 6, 7, 8, and now we're on step 9. With right sides together, match the exteriors and the interiors, push the zipper towards the interior, and sew along the side seams. We are going to take what we just sewed, and I've got my interior over here marked with a red pin, and my exteriors right sides together marked over here with a pink pin. And the reason is our seam allowance is going to be slightly smaller on the exterior than on the interior. We're going to kind of come out here and take a chunkier seam allowance. You also want to mark your dots. See these dots? We don't sew over the zipper tabs. We stop before. She does a little bit different method than what I typically do. So let's follow the pattern. And we're only doing the sides right now, no bottoms that I can tell. Okay, let's go to the machine. Oops. That's the lining. The zipper is pressed towards the lining, and I'm going to stop right up here where I marked my dot. Not sewing into the zipper tab. I'm going to lift, come out here. Ooh, yikes. And make sure this is all sitting right and start at my next dot with a slightly smaller seam allowance. And here, 1/4 inch seam allowance. Stop at the dot. And down here on the lining, slightly bigger seam allowance. I'm going to take the pins out. And if you want to, you can always write, like this one is the exterior, this one is the lining. It's not going to show through when you're done. Okay, press open the seam allowances. Oh. I'm going to finger press them. All right, let's turn it right sides out. Just grab that zipper and open it. Right? Oh yeah. Lining is there, right? Wait, got this backwards. Here we go. There's one side. And that's why I don't like to do that, because it'll often pop through. But I'll trust the pattern. I'm pulling these bottom edges down to make sure that they match. Do not like that. It's popping through. I'm going to tack this down here because I have a feeling that that is going to pop out. That's why I would have made the zipper shorter and sewn beside the zipper tab. So I'm going to tack these corners down because mine are starting to pop out and I don't like that. I'm sure there's a reason. But I'm going to tack them in. All right. So we're going to press all these layers flat. The side seams, they want to be bulky, so get in there and press those seam allowances open if you can. Stick your finger up in there. You know what would help here? It's my little trusty ham. Same for this side. I'm just going to run my finger up that seam, make it flat, and press that. And now let's press the whole pocket flat and we can trim up any bottom edges that need to be trimmed. I would say most of us will need to trim the bottom edge here. Okay, nice and clean. So I can mark off step 9 and we're flipping the page to step 10. We need our base pieces. Base. I did mine out of the exterior fabric. Right sides together. Okay. Oh, we have to center our pocket first with the divider pocket sandwich. So let's take that divider pocket that we just did, center it, and align the bottom edges. And then we're going to put on the other layer. I'm going to hold them together. and sew right along this bottom edge. Make sure your stitch length is where you need it. Mine's a little over 2.5. You might need a hump jump to get started. Sewn across that bottom edge. Step 11, press that seam allowance open. Mine isn't very big. Yikes. Top stitch 1/8 of an inch away along each side edge of the divider pocket. Okay, so let me get this pressed. Oh, it looks like when I started sewing it wasn't hooking, so let me fix that. Sometimes when I put in a new bobbin, this happens. Does anyone else have this deal where sometimes it won't pick up the bobbin thread? And it's only when my bobbin is new. It just drives me nuts. All right. So now step 11, press the seam allowance open and top stitch. Oof. Make sure your fabric isn't caught underneath. That was a close call. I may have bow-guarded that. Oh, I did a little bit, I think. Did I? Yeah, I sure did. I bow-guarded it. Look. Ugh. All right, where's my scalpel? That's what I get for daydreaming. I heard a thump outside and I was thinking, who's coming in? That's okay. Fixable. Everything is fixable. I bow-guarded more than I thought. All right, let's try it again. All right, now this is pulled out of the way and I can top stitch that. Okay. All right, so now we've got this situation. I'm just trimming threads because they bug me. Take this out, Rum. I'm just pinning this down because I just don't like how she does that part, but who am I to judge? So steps 10 and 11 are now complete. Now we're moving on to step 12, which is sew the gussets. Let me clean up my space a bit here. And let me find my gussets. So these are the gusset pieces. All these pattern pieces, I then put them under a thing to weigh them down so I don't lose them next time I want to make this pattern. Okay, now, was I supposed to interface my gussets? I was. So we have 4 gusset pieces, and we're just going to place both sets right sides together. You can see I franken-foamed my interfacing on this set. Right sides together. You can throw a pin in there if you like. And we're just going to sew along that top curved edge on both sets. Now, with my pinking shears, I'm going to notch that curve. Pinking shears have the jaggedy edges, and rather than trying to clip into this entire length, I don't have the patience for that, so I'm just going to use these automatic clips, notches, whatever you want to call them. All right. Oh, we need to sew along the bottom as well. Sew both of these edges. Okay. Just gonna grab my other one while I'm right here. Now turn it right side out. Now with your expert point and press tool, which for whatever reason, my long one keeps disappearing. I'll blame Gremlins. It can't be me. I can't be the one doing it, right? Now we're going to top stitch both of these seams, top and bottom. I need a new needle and possibly some oil in my machine. I can just hear it a little bit clunky. You don't have to lock stitch because these ends will be sewn into the side seam. Okay, there they are. All right, now we are done with 12 and 13. Now, step 14 through 24, those are for the optional front and back pockets if you want to do them. I am not going to do them. 14 is very easy. It's just a slip pocket. We've done that a million times in other patterns. 16 is an elastic pocket. I won't use that. I know myself. Easy enough with these directions if you want to add it. And then there is, I think, another option, flat zipper pocket. Yeah, I'm not going to do that because I know I won't use it. Just saying, let's keep it simple the first time. Okay, so we can skip to step 25. We are assembling the interior. Time to put this baby together. So step 25, lay out the interior with selected front and back options. So mine are just the front and back pieces, no extra pockets on there. If you wanted to do those, go ahead and do those, or if maybe you already did. Just gonna give my pieces a press and we're gonna start assembling. Sew the front to the base from dot to dot. So I believe this one is the base. Okay, let's go overhead. So remember, this is our base down here, and dot to dot, it's maybe 1/4 of an inch in. So if you want to make some marks, you can, or just stop early. All right, so one of the base, so interior layout, the interior. So the front to the base from dot to dot. All right, here we go, right sides together. I'm doing one layer of the base. Sew the back to the other base. I'll put my little stop signs to remind me. These pins are my stop signs, get it? So I'm sewing from here to here. Press all seam allowances towards the divider pocket. That's that way. So, ooh. Towards the pocket. Now, which one was my back? Because we're supposed to leave a little opening, but you know what? I didn't leave the opening, and I'm glad because I'll just open it to turn with my scalpel when it's time. And that way the fabric is trained to turn under anyways. So let's see where we're at right now. Press all seams towards a divider pocket. We did that. So step 25, we can cross off. Okay, now I'm grabbing a gusset. Okay, we are on step 26. So I just want you to have some patience on these next few steps. We can do it. Let's just go slow and we'll figure it out, okay? So going overhead, you're going to take one of your gusset pieces. We've got 2 made. And you're going to place it so that the raw edges are meeting and it's just a little bit over that seam line here. So these need to be meeting on this side. Then you're going to take one of your wings and place it on here like this. And now we are going to sew from up here down to the dot. Take it out. We're going to top stitch that seam. Let me press it. Always easier if you can press things. We're going to top stitch here on the blue, and then we will also top stitch here. Now, if you can visualize, this is going to be like this. Okay. All right, now we're going to repeat over here. Top stitch along the blue fabric first. And now we're going to top stitch. I forgot to lock stitch that. Let me fix. Now we're going to top stitch this side. Okay, and we're back. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other end. Stopped early. This one I can just start down here. top stitch along the blue first and then on the wings. All right, let's sew these gussets and wings in. So don't think of this as a pocket because it'll mess you up. This is actually the gusset and it's going to sit like this. Okay? So put your gusset and wings right sides together and sew down. Then you're going to press it away, top stitch, and top stitch. And then we're going to do the same thing, but on this side. Just like this. And then with a wing, and I'm going to sew. I switched to a blue thread here so you can really see what's going on. All right. And then we're going to do the same thing where we're going to fold it down like this and top stitch here and then top stitch here. Now I've already done this side, so now this gusset needs to go over here. And the wing on top, right sides together. And we're gonna sew right down that edge. Take it out, fold the seam allowance this way, top stitch on the blue first, and then top stitch the wing. So this is how it's looking so far. All right, so that was 26, 27, and 28. And now we're moving to step 29, finish the bag. So you want to take your main zipper, just 22 inches long, and find the centers. I have already marked mine in the seam allowance. I'll take you overhead. There's my centering markings. I could open this. See those center marks? Okay, we're going to match the centers of the 22-inch zipper to the back lining, right side facing up. Highlight that if you need it. So here's this, and here's this, and I did my little notch. I'm going to use clips on this part. And down the wing. This part will be a little tricky here, but I never cut into my tape on a zipper tape. I just don't do that. We'll get it to go. All right, so you'll have a little bit left over on each edge. That's how you want it. See how that is clipped all the way over? Wings and all. Baste the zipper to the lining here. If you have a zipper foot, put it on. You can do this. Now baste means I'm going to turn up my stitch length. Okay, step 30, you're going to take your main body piece and the end with the handle and place it right sides together, aligning that center notch with the center notch here, and using clips to hold it in place. Work it out towards the wings. And then this side too. Now, if that pull is in the way, you'll have to move it. All right, we're going to sew from dot to dot. And if you didn't mark it, you can now with your pattern piece, but it's basically about 1/4 of an inch from the ends. So we will sew, sandwiching everything inside there, the zipper and all. I gotta turn down my stitch length. It was still on a baste. Be feeling for your zipper pull, and if you need to move it out of the way, please do. Mine is right there. If you have a zipper foot on, you won't have to worry about it. Zipper feet are really skinny. I'm just gonna ease by it. Okay, step 31, we're going to repeat that technique for the other side of the pouch. So I'm just going to flip this around and take that center of my tape to the center. Oh, where'd it go? There's the center. Don't twist the tape. Remember, you can, when using clips and placement, you can replace as many times as you need. Don't be in a hurry. We also are not catching the gusset in here. So sometimes you have to just push it in so we can get this zipper attached properly. And down that wing. Okay, now this side, and I'm just going to smoosh that gusset in so it's easier to work with. I could have basted that zipper in first, but I need to get out of here. So I'm going to sew both at once. I hope I don't regret it. I really hope I don't regret it. Pay attention to where those pulls are. Make sure you're not going to hit it with your needle. Okay, let's finish this up. Step 32, open your zipper to about an inch on each edge. If you want to, you can sew across here or put a safety pin like she says in her pattern, just so you don't lose that zipper pull. I'm not going to do that because I know I'm not going to lose it. Then think of this like a boxed corner. The instructions and pictures can sometimes jumble your brain a little when you're new to a pattern, but it's easier than you think. We're just going to think of this like an easy zipper case boxed corner. And so I'm taking that zipper and I'm centering the teeth over that centering notch that I cut into the base. Here's my centering notch. Here's my centering notch. Here's my zipper. And I'm going to box this, you see, just like that. And we'll end up sewing right across here. But first I have to clip this down to make sure it's not going to move on me and get the layers pretty even. You want to make sure your gusset is out of the way. You're not sewing anything else in here. It's just this seam. And then the same on this end. So I want to push my gusset down in case it's all up in your biz. Push it down, flatten this out. The zipper teeth are going to center right on your centering notch. We're going to line up these edges and put clips in here. Now, I think we can sew that now so we don't lose our momentum. We will end up doing the same thing here for the lining. See how this seam is going to center over the zipper, and these edges will be pulled straight and your gusset is down out of the way. Make that gusset sit down out of the way. And then we can bring it back over here. See how that pocket and gusset want to be all up in my biz. I'm pushing them down. And I'm going to match that zipper with that center seam. And pull these to be even. Sit down, sit down. Okay, here we go. All right, let's sew the exterior first, all the way across here. The pull should be out of the way. We're sewing right over those teeth because it's nylon. Now I'm nervous. Did I get my pull out of the way? I think so. Yeah. I wonder if we could sew these both at the same time. The lining on the exterior, I mean, ooh, that might be a fun experiment. Could be. Okay, so in step 34, we did the outer. Step 35, take the lining and center the divider pocket seam. Let me go red. That's this guy on the zipper teeth, which I have done. And then these are the wings, and these are the seams we're going to close. But we can put them with the outer and do it at once. I should have just done that from the beginning. But if your machine doesn't like layers, then I can see why this is separated out. Just make sure that your needle is not going to hit your zipper pulls. Okay, let's go to the machine. I could have flipped that over, so I was looking at my previous stitching. Okay, there we go. Now same for this side, we're just going to align it. That seam is over the zipper teeth, it's centered. I will flip this side over so that you can see the previous stitching that we've already done. Make sure you're not going to hit anything dangerous as far as zipper pulls. Oh, my pull is right here. I can feel it. Wonder if I can just scooch alongside of it, I hope. Yep. Whew. That was, sometimes you hold your breath. Now we've got an opening in this lining. I'm going to make mine a smidge bigger. Where we can pull everything through. Right. Oops. Now the gussets here, we can sew them or we can use rivets. I'm probably going to use rivets because I'm getting super hungry, to be honest. Like 7 p.m. or something. I'm going to close that opening later. Don't worry about that at the moment. We will also top stitch around this zipper. Make sure everything is pressed down with my fingers at the moment. Just working it all the way around. From the outside, I'm going to start top stitching. I'm going to start down here and top stitch all those layers in place. I'm going to get as close as I can. It won't be perfect, but it'll be close enough. All right, let's do our rivets. And again, you can sew this if your machine can handle it. So, completely up to you. Now, where did I set my rivets? Trying to be all organized. There's one. Faster than sewing it, you know what I mean? There we go. got some threads I need to trim. Okay, there's that. Let's see here. We just did 39. Now we're on the last step, step 40. We have to close that opening in the lining. So let's tuck it under the best we can. It's kind of a tough area to get to, but we'll manage. Okay, I'm just gonna machine sew that hole closed. I'm gonna smush everything out of the way underneath. Closed. Check all my corners, push everything out. Oh my gosh, how cute. I'm kind of shocked because it looks so difficult, doesn't it? That is the cutest. We did it. Did I really do it? Did it? I've never done a pouch like this, not even remotely close to this, ever. So hey, we did it together. I only did this because of you. You know that? I don't think I would have attempted this. So thank you. Thank you for that. You being here pushes me. And I am so happy about it. Okay, here we are. Spring roll pouch by Love You Sew Patterns. Thank you, Christy, for writing the pattern. And thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you. Peace, love, sewing.